Hey everybody, Nick here, and today, well, it's time to ask the Nick. I have just a live video for you to just interact with folks. It's been a little while, actually, and part of the reason it's been a little while is actually because my internet was a little flaky. I moved recently, and it was only recently that my internet service provider got their stuff together, so to speak, and got me a speed of upload that I can really get back and working with things. So I am here to ask or answer your questions absolutely live. So before I wanted to do that, though, I want to go on to something a little bit serious. I want to hit a serious note here. In that things have been way too serious lately. Between Corona, between all of the really important things going on right now, things have been very serious, and that's important. But I figured we need a moment of levity, right? We need something that we can make fun of, and the one thing that we can all certainly make fun of is, of course, me. Because let's be real, I'm completely ridiculous. I'm sitting here in front of a Batman mask talking to 92 people I've never met before on the internet. It's a weird thing, but here we are. So what I've actually done is on Instagram as well as on the YouTube yesterday, I asked the internet to roast me. I asked them to give me their very best shot, take their best shot, and I didn't even specify it had to be in good faith, although most people were. But so I pulled out some of my very, very favorite comments, and I'd like to share a couple of them with you here today. If that voice got a wife, to start with, we'll talk about the voice, because that was a common topic of if that voice got a wife, there's hope for everybody. Nick Shabazz is what I imagine Gilbert Gottfried sounded like when he was 8. Your voice is as soothing as a multi-level marketing presentation. I would rather listen to Joe Biden reciting tongue twisters on repeat than to hear Nick Shabazz say Spyderco Shaman. Put the Shaman on the table here real quick. One more time. You have a voice for silent movies. Nick sounds like an NPC vendor in a classic RPG. He will happily sell you the red crystal, a power potion your character needs. Maybe some isopropyl alcohol. But first you have to kill the cave troll outside of town terrorizing his caravans. You don't need a knife, Nick. Your accent is sharp enough to cut anything. You sound like a bad community theater actor who can only do Joe Pesci impressions. Gilbert Gottfried turns the volumes off while he watches your reviews. And then finally, and most important one of all, my previous girlfriend would leave the room when I played your videos because she couldn't stand your voice. Now, the thing to remember, ladies, is he said previous girlfriend. That's right. If you want to stick around, you got to like the Nick, right? Then, of course, the face came up. Nick Shabazz is the rat model one of knife reviewers. He performs well, but he's kind of cheap and ugly. None of the Nick reviews are sharp enough. None of the knives Nick reviews are sharp enough to cut his neck beard. If your face is anything like your voice, you got a combo there. Thank you for never showing it. And I'm glad you haven't done a face reveal. It would shatter every piece of glass in my house. Then, of course, the hands. The hands are a natural place to go. Nick, I can't be mean to you. I feel bad picking on a guy with such delicate hands. Nick, I've seen bigger arms on snakes. What's funny is my arms are actually slightly disproportionately long, right? If my fiance ever drops a ring into the sink, I can call Nick here to reach in and pull it out with his tiny little hands. Now, you're actually onto something there. We have a garbage disposal in our sink, and after, of course, disconnecting to the breaker, I can get in there and pull out anything I damn well please because I have got myself... So, you laugh, but it's a win. I would like to commend you for taking on a roast. Give the man a hand, maybe a larger one, maybe two. And then finally, this one made me laugh in the middle of the bank. Gay, can you tell me what doctor did your hand reduction surgery? Then, of course, even George Clooney made a better Batman than Nick. Nice, rock on. Then there's just the grab bag stuff. They're just the random ones. I'd feel comfortable asking you for directions to a good vegan place if we met on the street. I don't know. Most people don't believe it at first, but yeah, and vegetarian for what it's worth. There's someone for everyone, but Nick had to find his someone at the deaf and blind school. Uh, we've all been blessed by your reviews, less so by your voice, and most of all, that you keep your face off camera. Here, speaking of faces that shouldn't be on camera, put this little guy right here. You, sorry. What are we looking at here? And then there's the whole prurient section right here. Instead of delivering traditional vows, Nick walked up to his in-laws during the wedding and read them the Nick Shabazz review disclaimer word by word. Exactly. It's a part of the giving away process. Good idea. You always want to make sure you're on the same page, what with the in-laws. I almost got assaulted at the airport for washing my hands and singing Baby Got Back. Thank you for that, Jem. By the way, this is a reference to the fact that the coronavirus guidelines that wash your hands for about 20 seconds, and that's the chorus of Baby Got Back twice, for what it's worth. Maybe you don't like pocket peckers because yours is more of a thumb stud. Oh, ouch. Nick sends appropriate picture to woman, sends another one and writes, and for size comparison, here's your Spidicodelica. To be fair, don't do that to the ladies, right? If they ask for it, great. Otherwise, kind of sleazy. Between Exxon Shabazz and the Vaseline Factory, I'm pretty sure we can all guess what tabs are open in Nick's incognito mode. And then finally, eternal props to whoever said your porn name would be the V Hunter. And then, of course, people were hey, thanks, Alex, for the donation. People were very happy to highlight that I am, in fact, not a brilliant man. It says, do you remember that really funny pun Nick made that had us all dying with laughter? Wait, you don't? Me neither. Yeah, he's got a pretty good point there. That posted by the man who forgot an $800 knife had two bearings. We do not talk about that moment. We do not. They're doing good, Ohio Knife Lover. Thanks for that. No need to roast you. You do that to yourself when you stream literally any game ever. I hear they're thinking of implementing a Nick mode that is far above the easy mode in games. You know, there's some truth to that. If anybody's been watching me stream over on twitch.tv/Nick Shabazz, I am not a brilliant gamer. I've been playing Skyrim blind, and I am the dumbest cat mage ever, apparently. Let's see here. Your sense of humor is as well chamfered as the knives you'd like to review. That is less than sharp. Nice. Hey, everybody. Nick here, and I'm too stupid to work this flashlight. Hey, that's not fair. I can work this flashlight perfectly well. You turn this... Yeah, there's something to there. The first person to comment a link to a video of them quickly and easily disassembling and reassembling a rapid fire, that's got to be the winner of the roast, right? Nick's jokes are cornier than the corn cob that is the Z Hunter. Yeah, that's a thing. And then finally, maybe one of the cruelest ones that I got is Nick is into watches. That is a terrible, terrible thing to say about somebody, but it's true. Thank you, Robert, for the super chat. And then I got a couple of more that I got to throw in there. We actually had some celebrities jump into this, at least knife community celebrities. Women Carry Knives said, maybe since your hands are LBH, we should do a video together. I mean, it is called Women Carry Knives. Nice. Metal Complex. Nick, I can't tell the difference between you and Meowth from Pokemon. Nick, that's right. In Knife Nuts podcast, if you want to be roasted, just listen to the Knife Nuts podcast impressions of you. Knife Center actually got in on the deal. And by the way, don't you dare give these people any heck for joining in. I asked for this, and they are awesome for joining in. But Knife Center said the only reason Nick's knives go dull is because his voice is so abrasive. Oh, snap, Knife Center. Collector Knives says, ever noticed how some of Nick product introduction videos sit on an SD card for so long that the knife is discontinued before he posts his video? Yeah, sorry about that, Collector Knives. Too real. Touch Knives jumps in and says, I've seen you without the mask. Too easy to roast you. Nice. And then finally, Slicey Dicey says, your hands are so small you could fist bump a squirrel. Actually, wait, he didn't say bump. Anyways, and then finally, there were a couple I have sorted into what I refer to as the burn ward. And they're pretty serious. Oh, hey, there's Women Carry Knives in there. Let's see here. Your voice is annoying. The Batman mask is a gimmick you say you use to hide your face, but we all know you use it to cover your deep insecurities. Oh, that's a little real, but probably true. You may have baby hands and a desk job, but your opinion within the blue-collar community is worth its weight in gold? Yeah, that's a little questionable, too. You swallow so audibly, I'm not sure whether I'm listening to a knife review or a mukbang video of a Jewish guy eating brisket. There you go. That one was for you. Nick Shabazz, more like Nick Sha has been. Maybe. Let's see. You dress as Batman not because you fear bats, but because you fear men. Yep, that one's accurate right there. Your handwriting sucks, but you try to compensate with expensive pens. 100% on point there. I'll never forget the first time I saw a Shabazz video, but I do keep trying. May you win someday. I would roast you, but my mom said I'm not allowed to burn trash. Oh, snap. That's rough. You aren't actually Batman. Oh, right to the chest. Yikes. Z Hunter sales have probably been so much higher because everyone wants to experience what you say about it. That one actually is going to keep me up at night a little bit. And then finally, the reason that green knife is not in Nick's pocket, it's not a limited edition knife or unavailable to the rest of people. Yeah, little true there. But anyways, I very, very much enjoyed the roast. I was laughing my assets off all day long yesterday. It was absolutely stellar. So I want to thank each and every one of you who took the time to, put together a well-crafted insult towards me and to share that little bit of joy. So, anyways, I am here to answer your questions. And I'm going to try and answer every question I see. But it's very possible, since I got a bunch of people here, that I'm going to miss out on yours. Feel free to repeat it, although not in like all caps, oh my God, because then I'm just going to scroll past. And also feel free to do the super chats. I'm going to make sure I catch all of those at the very, very least. So there you go. Actually, one other thing I wanted to do real quick is just to show off a couple of things that recently showed up on the table for me to check a look at here. Where am I looking at here? I've got a couple of things here. One of them is this weird guy right here. This is the Spyderco Knives Canis. Or Canis, or I'm not even 100% sure how to say it, but either way, it's a weird piece. Very, very interesting, very thin behind the edge. Oh my God, look at that tip, yes. This is a really cool looking freaking knife. But I'm gonna keep an eye out for the review of this. I got the Wee Knives / Snack Buster, or Mini Buster in this case, which is actually very interesting. Can't wait to take a look at that. And then finally, what just arrived on my table yesterday is this little guy. This is the Protect Knives fancy, I don't think they call it this, but it's the fancy Malibu. It's the Protect Knives Malibu, so it's just like the regular Malibu, except with a different blade shape and with a beautiful Damascus set blade in there. That's absolutely stellar, and it's a really cool piece. It was one of those where it was like, they sent it to me on low, and it was like, okay, who do I pay? Like, it's good. It's real freaking good. So I'll go ahead and I'll throw that down here just because it's absolutely beautiful. So anyways, there we go. Puts the anus in Canis. That thing's but ugly. Nice. I don't know. It's got its own little bit of joy there. Do you think the Spyderco Pochi was designed specifically for Frankie of, I assume, Birdshot IV, Frankie and Bird? If not specifically, very likely for her. She's excellent. Actually, one other thing that showed up that's kind of non-characteristic for me is this little guy right here. This is the Benchmade Knives Hidden Canyon. This was just discontinued, so of course I got to feature it on the channel. But this is an absolutely cool little knife that I have thought about buying for years and years and years, but never actually got around to it. It got discontinued, the price went way down, and it was just like, you know what? I like the thing. I'm going to pick one up. So, indeed, I did. Will it last forever? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. But I just wanted to make sure I had one because I do like this guy substantially. It's a cool little piece right there. So, there we go. What do we got here? This does very much, the blue in this guy is very similar in a lot of ways to the Grimsmo Norseman, especially once it fades down a little. Actually, more to my original one. This one is a little bit more faded out. But anyways, that would be a neck knife for you. Yeah, actually, a therapeutic edge. It ain't so far off for there. Yeah. Let's see here. That is not a custom Protect Malibu. It's just a fancy one. They've made a bunch of these. They're actually going out. I know that, lots of dealers are getting them, but very specifically, I know that Indiana Knives as well as Hellacious Blades both mentioned that they were going to be getting some stock of them, as well as, I think, EDC Gearhouse / Way of Knife. Those are all some small, and a bunch of other big retailers, but those are some of the small ones that I figured I would give a quick shout out to over there. So, there we go. Let's see here. Nick, when are you going to review the Civivi Chronic? Slow review time is a chronic problem for me, but that one's coming before too long. I should drop that soon, actually. It was a good knife. Fundamentally, there's a lot of goodness there. What about a Spyderco Shabazz? What would you design it like? Honestly, I've said over and over again that I'm not a knife designer. I don't know enough really about knife design to do a super competent job about it. I'd love to do a collaboration or something like that at some point. But honestly, for me, I don't know what it would look like because I don't have a good design sense, right? But I mean, some things that would certainly be there would probably be a compression lock. It would probably end up having very thin blade stock. And what else? It'd be relatively small. I think it would be a slicey little beast. That would be a big thing there. So, yeah, that's kind of where I would go. Wayne Shopworld asks, the most anticipated release yet to be released in 2020. God knows we need good news in 2020, and there were a couple of things that are very interesting for me. One of those things is actually the TRM Titanium Atom. That's going to be good. That's going to be real good. Actually, I showed it off on Instagram. This is public. I got a chance to handle the prototype, and yes, indeed, yes. That's going to be an easy contender for Knife of the Year but this year is going to be awful for Knife of the Year because we've had, among other things, the Quiet Carry Waypoint, which is a very strong contender. We've had the CKF 520, which is not limited edition. They keep making more of them. We've had, what else have we had this year that's just amazing? We've had the Void, actually. This is the Knife Nuts Podcast Edition Void, which I picked up because, I'm the Knife Nuts Podcast patron. Got the link early. But anyways, there's that. And what else have we got? We've got a couple of Peñas. I mean, it's going to be a really tough year to be Knife of the Year. I'll throw this on because it's just freaking gorgeous. So yeah, that's a thing. So I would say probably that TRM, and then the Holtz are going to be dropping the, why am I not getting the name of this thing? The Haptic, I think. I don't know. I don't have any details there. And then, of course, there's the re-release of the Grimsmo Knives Rask, which, with some substantial changes, could be something very serious. So I don't know. I really, there was a lot yet to come. God knows I hope there's a lot yet to come from 2020, because the first part of it's been a little iffy in places. Sakari asks, or says, the voice is more effective than a rape whistle or birth control. Yeah, that's for damn sure. I don't know what my wife sees in me, but here she is. So, yeah, there we go. Clayton Parfumorse says, Nick, I want to thank you for my enough video. It's genuinely made me stop and think for a very long time. Only got one knife since for somebody else. Hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And, I have those same questions myself. I mean, I struggle with that every day. If I didn't have a channel, my collecting probably look very different at this point. But there's a joy. Let's see here. Somebody asked about the Spyderco Swayback. I am getting one hopefully tomorrow. I should be picking it up. But I didn't, I didn't get that, in any kind of early, timely way. I got this guy as well as the Swayback. Actually, Knife Joy helped me out picking this guy up, as well as the Buster, and got some, and the Swayback will be coming in too. So that should be a joy. Let's see here. What am I looking at here? Do me a favor, Nick. Say marinara sauce, just for you. I have no idea why that's a thing, but there we go. Grimsmo Norseman should have been named the Grimsmo Hippo. Yeah, I can see that. Or the Grimsmo Horseman, depending. Hey, Metal Complex is in the house. He's a great guy. You should really check out his channel. He's a person who I've gotten a chance to chat with recently, that is, and there are a lot of great reviewers in here already. But Metal Complex is just, we've been chatting, and he's putting a lot of thought into things, and I absolutely, I appreciate him for doing that. But, like I said, there are lots of, F.A. Blades is here too. This is another guy you should check out. He's F.A. Blades on the YouTube. He's been putting out a huge number of videos, and, he's definitely, you should check him out too. Wow, we got a lot of celebs in the room here today. Let's see here. FHA goes into the roast a little bit basic and says, Nick, you suck. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's definitely a thing. Okay, what else? Nick, you suck Spyderco from the same person. I suck Spyderco. What is that even supposed to mean? They're a company. You realize that you can't fillet a company, right? Anyways, I digress. But no, I appreciate you stopping in and joining on the roast, although I think you should maybe work on your roasting skills just a little tiny bit. Yeah, I'm looking forward on the Spyderco Pochi too. MS is asking, should I buy a Kaiserfeist version 1 to carry? And by the way, I'm scrolling, so if I'm missing things or if I'm not there yet, give me a second. Version 1 to carry. The Feist is a solid piece, but honestly, there are a lot of really good front flippers out there. You've got things like the Real Steel Metamorph. You've got, this doesn't really count, but the Monterey Bay EWC. You've got a lot of really great options these days. It's sort of hard to recommend something that's a few generations old and itself had very thick stock, etc. So, yeah, it's a fine piece, but I think that there are a lot more interesting pieces now. That was most interesting because it was a relatively new front flipper. Here, I'll swap out. Yeah, I'll keep the Z Hunter on the screen. Swap that in there instead. Sid, holy crap, thank you so very much. So he says, completely impressed by my Ryu from Shock Knife Co. If you have had any chance to check out any of Edison's handmade knives. So he's talking about, obviously, Shock Knife Co. And Edison, I think Edison Barajas, as well as Victor, I believe is his brother. I think they're related in some way. They are a set of custom makers, and they're very custom, very handmade, and very unique. You look at their design language, it's like, yeah, that's the thing. I believe, I may be lying to you here, but I want to say, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say they, one of them, I think Edison designed the Koenig Goblin, among other things. But anyways, they do some very interesting stuff. It's very handmade, very hard to get, very auction only, so I haven't spent too much time. They're already pretty well known, but yeah, they do some great work. Let's see here. What do we got here? Between Wii and ZT, who has better fit and finish? That's really tough to say. I think that for a while there, they weren't that dissimilar. I haven't handled ZT much lately, so it's probably not fair to say. I don't know where they've gone, up, down, or otherwise. So there you go. Can you say, forget about it? Forget about it. There you go. Let's see here. This guy is why we can't have nice things. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yet another weird roast. Let's see. Is there a Spyderco bombshell in my future? No, I believe what you're talking about there is the newest flash batch, the Danger Pickle or whatever it is. That is a fine-looking knife. Well, at least, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it personally. But it is a... it's a super limited edition. It's a flash batch. I think they're already all gone, so I didn't even bother. So there you go. Tommy D says, I had a Lyft driver the other week who carried a Rat number 1. I've never been so excited while in the back seat. Fair enough. Look, it's always a joy when you meet another knife geek out in the world, right? There's a lot of joy in all of that. I'm a big fan of that just because it's something that you can bond with, right? If you see somebody and you see something a little unusual, right? I remember a time when I was at work and there was a guy who I kind of knew from around, but we hadn't talked too much, and I noticed he had a Spyderco Spidey Chef in his there. I think he was just playing with it in the hallway. That sounds wrong, but it was the Spidey Chef he was playing with. And it was like, wait a second, hold on. You think about pocket knives. Interesting. And so we got in a conversation, and then sooner or later he put 2 and 2 together and realized who he was talking to, which was entertaining. But nonetheless, the Spidey Chef is it's a beautiful thing. And if you see something like that, somebody who's clearly put thought into their everyday carry tool choice, that's an instant way to unite with them a little bit. That's a joy. So let's see here. What's your take on the Banta? You're talking about the Wii Knives Banta. This little guy right here. This is an interesting knife. I actually gave my first impressions yesterday, so check out that video. It's a disassembly and first impressions video. Is this the same Shaman or another version I own? This is what I've done here is I put a set of rosewood scales on the M4 Blade HQ Shaman. So it's kind of a Franken Shaman at this point, but it's a beautiful thing. I like it a lot. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, we got some people arguing. They're pitting the brothers against each other. Mordax or Protec Malibu? I would go with the Malibu, actually. The reason being it's a little bit smaller and the edge is thinner. It's just a nicer grind on it is the big thing here. And I think also, it's cheaper too. So not this particular variety. This is a pretty expensive piece with the Damascus and whatnot, but I am a big fan of the Malibu. This is one of the best things that they've done yet. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Have I tried Liberty Oil products, 100% synthetic lube? No, I haven't. They want to reach out to me. I'm happy to take a look. Let's see here. What do we got here? Did you just haka on my mat? I have no idea what that is, but I know that haka, that's a Maori war dance, right? I'm not Maori, so I feel like if I did that, that would be cultural appropriation, and that's not okay. Let's see here. Mad tofu. Mad tofu. Tofu is not something I've ever viewed to be terribly angry, but there you go. Can you say trans rights are a human right? Yeah, absolutely, I can. No issue with that. Let's see here. Have you tried vegan cheese alternatives? No. So look, I am vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. And part of the reason for that is cheese, right? Cheese is fucking amazing. And you're welcome to point out the moral hypocrisy of the stance, etc. I know, but I like cheese a lot. And so every time I've tried cheese alternatives, cheese with a capital Z, it's been a little questionable, so I think I'll skip that. Let's see here. Monterey Bay, hard to get. All you need to do is go up to Monterey Bay and find it. No, you're talking about Monterey Bay knives. These are the folks who make knives like the EZC 2.0 or the VLD, right? Oh, God, the sound of this guy is stellar acoustically. Oh, yes. They are a little tricky to get, but they're making more and more of them. It's just you have to find the drops. Alex has said, Nick, you ought to get a chance to check out the Kershaw Highball. Just got one. It's built great for the price. No, I haven't yet, Alex, but, thanks very much for sharing. Let's see here. Having trouble finding ferric chloride to do acid etching. You're a scientist. You know any places from SD to LA to buy? No, I don't, Tommy. Unfortunately, I don't know that I've bought ferric chloride in a long time. It's cool stuff, but no, I mean, for certain things. Let's see here. What do we got here? I've talked about the Shabarian. Yes, Shabarian. That's short for Shabazz vegetarian thing before in a prior Ask the Nick, but the simple fact is I don't like meat that much, and I don't like getting eaten, so, I mean, modulo the things, but I would be angry if someone killed and ate me. So there you go. It doesn't bother me to be vegetarian. My wife isn't. So there you go. What do we got here? Let's see here. Scrolling here through. Are you ever going to design a knife? Like I said, it's something I don't completely rule out, but I just don't see myself as skilled enough. And very often when I sit down to do so, I end up redesigning something, I end up making something that is already basically a thing. God, this knife is good. This is the Monterey Bay Knives Everywhere carry, and it's so good. I don't carry this often, and that's dumb. I should carry this often. Who's going to get swapped out? I'll put the Norseman away for the moment. Throw this guy down instead. Really, really good little piece there. I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day there, Daniel. Hopefully it gets better from here. Let's see here. What's the best bang for the buck sharpener? That's a good question. It kind of depends on what you're looking to do. I mean, in many ways, the best bang for the buck sharpener is just to get a strop, right? Or to get some just stropping compound and put it on some cardboard. That'll maintain your edges really well for a good long time, and it lets you go a much longer time between sharpening. So probably stropping is the best bang for your buck, period. So yeah, that's probably where I'd go. Have I tried the QSP Penguin? Is it a rat killer? Hopefully, I imagine if you throw it at a rat or something, it could kill the rat, and that would be a little sad. But I believe this to be a QSP Penguin right here. And it's a very cool little knife. I have honestly not gotten this has shown up, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I have been I've been super busy. I just finished a huge push at work, like the craziest, the most I have ever worked in my entire life has been the last, 13, 14 weeks or so, really since Rona got started, because I was helping to manage the move to, telework and whatnot. It was a pain in my assets. Oh, my God. And then after that, plus I had the internet things. Plus, frankly, I've just been worn down between the Rona situation and between watching all the pain that we're going through here as a country. It's difficult. Going through the pain that we're processing, frankly. It's difficult. And so it's been a little hard for me to just sit down and start writing reviews, but I'm definitely on it. I'm getting back to it. I've been roughly in the fetal position for about a week, modulo meetings and such, getting a little bit better. Things are easier now. Let's see here. Wow, we're going... I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. What's my opinion about the compression lock patent expiring? Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Very curious about that, actually. The compression lock is like on this guy right here, where it's like a liner lock, except it's on the top, and there's that little leaf there. If that patent expires and other people can start using it, I mean, it's a great lock. And that's actually something that we've seen, for instance, right here. This is the Hogue Knives Doug Ritter Mini RSK. Very, very nice knife. This is probably the next review I'm going to be filming. But this is using a lock which would probably have been blocked by the patent that Benchmade had on this mechanism here, which is the axis lock, as seen on the Benchmade 940 on the top here. And so when the axis lock went out of patent, other companies were able to pick it up, and they've done some very good work with it. And so I'm actually kind of excited to hear that. I think that'll be a very good thing. Let's see here. Animals at my local free-range farm are happier than most people I know. That's good. I'm glad. I'm always a supporter of happy animals, right? And that's the thing. I just want, all creatures to be happy, right? I mean, seriously, at the end of the day, everything deserves as best a life as it can have, right? Sorry, just having some tea at the moment. Okay. Why does it seem like whatever knife you ask him about, he has sitting within arm's reach? Silver Silence, that is because I have a bunch of knives here, a bunch of knives there, a bunch of knives over there, and then right next to me, I have my big knife case, which contains, as you might imagine, a bunch of knives. And so I have a bunch of pocket knives around, and many of which are just points of comparison. It's like somebody says Shabazz, boom, here's a Shabazz. I mean, I can pull these things up. This is part of the thing that you do as a reviewer, is you end up with a bunch of things. I've got a budget drawer full of things. I mean, you figure it out, right? You get that going. So there you go. What else do we have here? The Mini RSK is seriously good. Yes, it is, indeed. If they made a pocket knife documentary with other YouTubers, would you like to be included? Yeah, sure. I mean, that would be silly, but in a lot of ways, it would be silly to do a pocket knife documentary with YouTube reviewers, right? I mean, I could play a little tiny role, or any of us could, but the thing is, at the end of the day, this is about the makers. All I'm doing is, talking, right? It's a slightly different thing. Let's see here. What do we got here? Loving the Mini RSK. What's my first impression? My first impression is that it's good, right? The biggest gripes with it are that the clip is right over this textured area. That's not something that's amazing. But aside from that, and I also had an edge issue with mine at first, but actually Hogue did absolutely the right thing with it. They said, oh, wait, that's weird. And they captured it. They did some tests and assured me that, okay, well, we're looking into figuring out what went on there. It's been pretty rare. And they sent me a brand new one, no question asked. And I've heard them do similar things for other folks. So, it's not great, but at the same time, that's how you should handle it, right? So that's good. Let's see here. Compression lock, anticipated expiration would be 2021. February 22nd. Oh, interesting. Somebody mentioned big old cold steels. So I suppose better pull that out as well. Right here. Cold steel tie. Sorry, I looked at it. That's a thing. Oh, that's a thing. Let's see here. Nick, could you please recommend a good case? Kind of depends on what you're talking about. If you mean case knives, honestly, I mean, take your pick, right? They're all roughly the same, and honestly, I think you can often do a lot better with other companies. But that said, I would, if you're talking about knife cases, there are a couple of really good ones to think about. One of them is, come here. Now you find something that makes me go across the other room. Here is these cases are actually sold by Blade HQ, but they're very, very nice. These are some pieces that are going to be in the next charitable giveaway. But they have a bunch of different pocket knife slots here. They fold up, roll up nicely. These are a great choice for you. If you need something to travel, CKF actually makes an oddly good knife case as well. And then, of course, Gerstner International or Gerstner USA are also really excellent making toolboxes and cases and things like that. But they're very, pretty pricey. So consider that. Let's see here. What knife do you carry if you need something reliable, but think there's a decent chance it's going to get lost, stolen, or confiscated? I mean, that's a good question there, Tyrium. Probably the rat one. I'm sorry, rat two. Good God. By the way, LOL. A viewer sent this to me, just like, what? Okay. Um, a bone stock rat two is like $40. I can afford to lose that. I'd rather not, but I can afford to. And it's still every bit of knife that I need. That's absolutely a beautiful thing. So, yeah, I would probably go with one of the rats, or failing that, if there's a lower probability, or if there's a legal concern, maybe the dragonfly is another good choice. But yeah, let's see here. What do we got here? Do I still carry that eagle tack? I don't generally carry the eagle tack. No problem there. It's just, yeah, it's a fine piece, but generally these days I carry my flashlights off body, and generally as a result I end up throwing the Neutron 2C, or recently more often the 10,000 lumens, which I just keep in my backpack. Hey, Thomas Matthews, thank you very much for the donation. That's very kind, and I like geeking out with folks too. Is KME still my go-to sharpener? It is. I've been experimenting lately with diamond-based DMT stones, and there is some joy there, but I think the KME, if I want to really control the edge, is still where to go. What is that green skull blade? Oh, you must be new here, but it's the Z Hunter. It's a thing. Let's see here. Why do I own so many Spydercos over other knives? Actually, let me look at something real quick. I'm looking at my collection right here, which a fair amount of it is right here, of things I own. And this is going to be a really depressing and dangerous number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Oh my God, this is going to be really bad. 36, 37, 38. I'm not going to count those because they're just little Swiss Army knives for my channel. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Oh, good Lord, I have too many knives. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 40. 59, 40. Guys, I have a PhD. 60, 61. Okay, the roughly 61 knives in my collection of things that I really sort of, that I like, that aren't necessarily just for review. I have, 61 divided by, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 Spydercos. So about a sixth of my knives is Spyderco. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I got to add 2 more. Oh, okay. 13 out of 61. A Spyderco. So I own a bunch of them, but that's because they're good knives. I know everyone was like, Nick, what's the fraction? No, they weren't. Anyways, I could make a pie chart if you'd like. But yeah. Hey, Keith, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Pancake batter milkshake. Oh, is in thicker than a pancake batter milkshake? Yeah, I can think of a couple of knives like that. There we go. Do I use the factory Leatherman pouch on my belt? Not really, generally. I mean, actually, if I am carrying the Leatherman Wave, generally I will put it in the factory pouch. But I do like very much the custom leather pouches, and if I carried one more often, I'd probably go that route. The other nice option are the ones that actually are not pouches so much as holsters, where you can just slip the whole thing into a holster. Like Adam Savage has one that he designed on his channel on Tested, where it just drops in and locks in. That seems like a really good idea. So there's that. If I weren't interested in or if I wasn't living in California, would I be interested in the Benchmade 940 Auto? That's an automatic version of this. Honestly, I mean, maybe. The 940 is a great piece, and I recently picked one up again because it's sort of a fundamental piece in the knife hobby. And it feels like something that I should probably have around just for the channel, right? But I don't know that it needs to be automatic, right? Automatics are just problematic in a lot of ways, legally speaking. So I don't feel like it needs to be. And frankly, if you just want to deploy it quickly out of your pocket, you just pull back the access lock and fling it out. I mean, it can be auto, but I don't know why it needs to be. Maybe for some first responders, they would enjoy that, or maybe just people like automatic knives. But for me, that's kind of a novelty more than anything. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see here. All glory to the Z Hunter. Oh, therapeutic edge. Therapy is in need. Let's see here. Please take the Z Hunter out. It is burning a hole in my retina. When you stare into the abyss stares into you. Okay, too many knives. What heresy is going on? Yeah, I know. Let's see here. Can I make a pie chart about bar graphs? Oh, good Lord. Yes, I can. But I just as soon not. Let's see here. We have a bunch of trolling going on. Let's go ahead and do that. What do we got here? Deca or mini RSK? For me, I'd probably go mini RSK or full size RSK for that matter. I think I like the design a little bit more. And just it's a little bit more sort of the Deca it's a design knife, right? It's an Elishevitz, and if you like the design, great. But that's kind of what it's about. Let's see here. I like your channel, but my wallet can't take much more. I understand that. Maybe it's time to upgrade your wallet. Can I suggest this beautiful piece from K&H Leather? Just saying. Let's see here. OCW 500C. I don't know what you're talking about, but you might be talking about the OCW 5000C, which I will very gladly show off. This is the Casio Oceanus OCW 5000C. Beautiful, beautiful watch. Absolutely a gem. At the moment, though, I'm wearing the Grand Seiko GMT. I don't remember the model number of this guy, but it's the only Grand Seiko spring drive GMT. And oh my God, do I like it. I actually had this exact knife, or exact watch that is, on my channel to review way back when, and it is, yeah, it's good. Let's see here. What do we got? Wow, there were a lot of 384 people. That's amusing. What makes a knife worth an expense? Worth the expense? That's a good question, and it's going to vary from person to person. For some people, it's fit and finish. It's materials, the things like the Damascus. Well, actually, if I'm showing off Damascus, let's go Damascus, right? There's a whole knife specter right here with some Damascus and some Damascus. This is fancy materials and beautiful polishing and things like that. If you're looking for pocket jewelry, then something like this or something like this little Protec Sprint right here. This is this is pocket jewelry, right? This is a beautiful thing that can make them worth the expense. For other people, it's something more practical, right? It's like, does this reliably cut things? Is it easy to function? Is it good in the hand? Is it going to last? Is it durable? Is it that kind of thing? Is it beautifully made? I mean, is it, are all the parts fitting perfectly speaking? Is the action beautiful? There are many things that make knives worth the cost, worth their cost, but, yeah. So there were a bunch of things out there, but I would probably go with that. And then what do you use your knives for? Actually, that's been a little bit of a problem with the quarantine as well, is it's become a little bit more difficult to use the knives because I'm not using them as often, opening packages and such at work. In practice, they often end up being used to break down boxes. They're used to just do things. I'll try and use them in the kitchen from time to time, wash them off first, etc. But yeah, I'm so sorry, Richard. Probably Błagowski. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering your name. Nick, how important is a knife's packaging to you? Not at all. In practice, as far as I'm concerned, there are exactly two kinds of knife packaging. There are disposable packaging, and what that actually looks like, I really don't care. What your disposable packaging looks like is it gets thrown away within 5 minutes anyways, or ideally recycled. And so unless it's like super wasteful, there's nothing really interesting, or it's reusable, right? One of the things I like very much is when companies will give like a soft case or something like that. For instance, here we go. Here is a nice example from Monterey Bay Knives right here, or this is from Tepe Designs, which produced the Tepe Hornet, which I reviewed recently. Those are great, right? Because you can use them later on. You can use them to mail a knife to a friend. You can use them for random things. So those are fine, but honestly, if you're thinking about doing a big fancy cardboard box, don't. Just put it in the very minimum package you can do it, and then that way you get the knife, and then you've got the knife. Otherwise, because if people are asking me, do you have the box? Like, no, I don't have the box. Why am I going to store a box for a tool? That seems dumb to me. So I don't know. That's a thing. Let's see here. What are my thoughts on the JG Ranger? Jason Guthrie Customs does amazing custom knife work, flat out. They're very hard to get, is the biggest issue, but they're good. They're real good. And apparently he streams on Twitch, which I had no idea. So that's a thing. Let's see here. Do I still have the Ontario Shikra? How's it holding up? It's on the table waiting for review. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing. What do we got here? Never sell my 5000C, literally the best quartz watch. You may be right, my friend. You may be right. Let's see. Thanks for my amazing content. Sell you the EWC. I would recommend instead that you get one from Ontario, or I'm sorry, from Monterey Bay Knives, because yeah, it's great. Absolutely a great piece. And I'm sure they're going to be making more here soon. So there's that. Hold on just a second here. I am going to text my wife. Hi, wife. I'm live on YouTube. Love you. There we go. And we're back at the races. I just didn't need her to, she's at work. Didn't need her to call and interrupt the live stream, right? Let's see here. Let's see. Looking for rust-proof knives for your lifeguarding job. Any suggestions? Honestly, Spyderco Salt is what she said immediately. But like the Native 5 Salt is a good choice. Also, Quiet Carry's been making a series. They've got the Drift, the Waypoint. This is a completely rust-proof knife right here. Had some cardboard box residue on there. This is a completely rust-proof knife. That's another good choice. Or honestly, you got a bunch of different options there. But probably the Spyderco Salt series is where I would send most people, especially for lifeguarding. The Native 5 Salt is almost perfect because it can just sit in your pocket. It's very lightweight. It won't pull your swim trunks off as you're trying to rescue somebody or running majestically down the beach with a lot of bouncing, which my impression of generally lifeguarding, that's what I know it to be. But yeah, there's a thing. Let's see here. Sorry, just drinking some the mukbang element there from the earlier. Let's see here. Have you noticed corruption with reviewers, dishonesty for the sake of a kickback? You hear stories, but I've not had anything confirmed, and I don't want to, cast aspersions here. There's enough freaking drama in this knife world that I don't need to go there here. But as far as I know, none of the people. Let's put it this way: if there is somebody like that I'm aware of, I'm not going to be promoting them. I'm not going to be shouting them out, etc. So there you go. ADC Ready actually asked, what are the benefits of mechanical watches over quartz watches? Or in the case of a spring drive, you get both. So honestly, I've got a whole series of videos about that. They're old, but quartz watches are better. For 99% of people, they're better, flat out. Let's see here. How do you strop a 12-inch Bowie knife blade with a big old strop? This is my big old strop that I use generally. That would work quite well. Let's see here. What else do we have? Have I thought about checking out the Hindra Jurassic? I have. Thing is, I'm yet to really get a strong sense of why that's a thing when they've got so many other options. But maybe someday, sure. It just never really appeared to me. I'm glad you specified on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, actually, no. It is worth specifying, right? If it was just I'm live, then she might think I'm just alive. But I could also have been live on Twitch, right? Because I've been doing that lately, and that's been a real joy. I've been playing Skyrim. I think I mentioned that already. So yeah, let's go back to the YouTube here. And look at this. Tommy D, any other knife watch analogies you care to grace us with? Shiro is Rolex. Yes and no. In a lot of ways, attitudinally, Shiro is Rolex. Shirogorov, of course, is what you're talking about there. In that they're priced very, very high, and they kind of stopped innovating because people know them already. But in a lot of ways, so is Chris Reeve. Chris Reeve, though, has the advantage, like Chris Reeve, specifically the Shabazz, is the Rolex Submariner in the knife world, because everybody's first high-end knife that they kind of aspire to is a Shabazz, right? It's sort of like everybody who hears about the Shabazz, like, oh, it's the Shabazz. You should get a Shabazz. It's the Shabazz. And it's a good piece, absolutely, but it's not necessarily the best piece. And so I think a lot of people end up a little bit blinded to it, just like with the Rolly. Other knife to watch analogies, that's tough to say. In a lot of ways, you could probably make a pretty good argument that like Rayot is going to be your Grand Seiko type, right? Because the performance is absolutely equaling some of the other, more known brands and some of the fancier ones, but the prices are a little bit more reasonable. And in some cases, the finishes actually excel. This is a Bride in the Dough piece, but it's being made by Rayot. So there's that. Etc. What else? Are Pakistani knives and swords any good? Throat punch. Throat punch? Really? Ow. Go for the hyoid, right? Anyways, I digress. Yes and no. I don't want to cast aspersions. Generally speaking, there are certainly good cutlery makers in Pakistan, but generally speaking, a lot of the Pakistani knives, and especially Pakistani Damascus, that you see being sold in the U.S. at a budget is not generally very hard. The steel just doesn't take much of an edge, etc. Tends to look very pretty, but it doesn't perform very well. So I generally advocate against picking up on the low end. Anything less than a couple $100. There were certainly good Pakistani knife makers out there, but very often the stuff made there is not of great quality. At least the stuff that makes its way to the U.S. I'm sure there's some makers someplace in not Karachi, that's Venezuela. No, that's Caracas. Karachi is Pakistan, I think. Oh, God, I'm having a... Apparently, it's been a long day if I can't remember that. But either way, yeah, Karachi is in Pakistan. I'm going to hear about it if it isn't, so let me know. But anyways, let's see. Oh, wow. Caracas is Venezuela. Apparently, I should get some sleep or something. What's my Twitch channel? It is predictably twitch.tv/Nick Shabazz. Actually, I think I've got it printed out over here someplace. Either way, it's a thing. Twitch Nick Shabazz. What do I think of the new Artisan Cutlery lock? Haven't had one. Haven't handled it. But I'm going to be getting one once they get one. So that should be nice. Let's see here. Am I going to review another Chavez? I don't think I ever reviewed a Chavez. Did I? I don't think I ever did. You might be thinking of somebody else. Chavez makes great knives, 100%, but the thing is the skull, I just can't get past it. This is bias, 100%, and the quality is there. The design language is so, I just can't do it. It doesn't do it for me at all. Like if I walk into a meeting with a skull clip, like, no. And he knows, and it's fine. It's just, it's his thing. Not my style, though. Let's see here. And too bad you're in San Diego. No out the front knives for me. San Diego, you can have automatics. They just have to be less than 2 inches. Is the Spring Drive GMT, that is DMT, Spring Drive GMT, mine are on loan. This one's mine. It was originally on loan when I reviewed it the first time. My buddy who loaned it to me ended up selling it to me at a price that's really good. So, yeah, I got it. So it's me now. Let's see here. Do you have the leashes blur? I have no idea what you mean by the leashes blur, but I'm kind of going to read it. Oh, maybe you mean Kershaw blur? Is that a thing? That's a thing. I have no idea. So yeah, that's a thing. Why don't you review the really popular knives like the Brown LHC X and Koenig Mini Goblin? Because they're pretty hard to get, right? The LHC and the Mini Goblin are tricky to get. The Mini Goblin was a little bit kind of thick and beefy and not necessarily my style. And, Brown, just tricky to get, right? So, let's see. No one's looking at the clip in your pocket when it's a Zoom meeting. This is true, actually. And I will say my knives have gotten a lot more fidget time if I'm able to, sit there in the middle of a Zoom meeting and just like, flickety flick, no one's hearing me, mic's off. It's a beautiful thing. That sounds really wrong. Moving on. Are there any other hobbies besides EDC and gaming? Like I have time. Yeah. I wish I had more time for other hobbies. Computing, I suppose, would be a hobby for me. As in, I'm a gigantic computer nerd. I do weird customizations to my computers, etc. But aside from that, at least software-wise, I've been actually really strongly contemplating building another computer, like building a Linux box, actually, a Linux-based workstation. But I ended up realizing that just enough of the software I use on a regular basis wouldn't work well there, that it would probably not end up being a machine I could use for my full life. And that made me very, very sad. I reviewed, that's right, the Chavez Stout Megalodon. You know my videos. Thank you, J. Cole. I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I reviewed that. I forgot that was a collaboration. But yes, absolutely, I did review that piece. I'll throw this guy on the table here for the moment. But anyways, yeah, that's that. And I'll also throw this little Benchmade. This is the mini bug out with Rogue Blade Works scales on it. Let's see here. Would you ever rather have a knife that screams when you open it? Pardon me. Or we're back at the mukbang, people. Or a flashlight that makes a dramatic sound effect when you turn it on. Oh, yeah. I'm going flashlight right there. Or maybe the 10,000 lumens could be rigged such that it says 10,000 lumens whenever you turn it on. That would be a joy. There we go. Let's see here. What are my thoughts on the Hinder a Phi attack? I'm hearing that there's going to be down the road a tri-way pivot version of it, and when it happens, I will be there. 100%. Neat piece. Never checked that out. Good night. Go to sleep. FHA, I think I'll stay up a little bit longer, given that it's only 8:30 here in San Diego. But nonetheless, especially if you're in Europe and it's 5:30, you go to sleep. Or wake up, for that matter. Yeah. Let's see here. Any thoughts and interest in reviewing the Leatherman Free T or K series? I reviewed one of the 3T2 or something like that. It wasn't super interesting to me, but I'm definitely keeping an eye out for whatever comes next from Leatherman. Do I think I'll stream any more Super Mario 64? Yes, I will. I'm planning to get back there. I've been enjoying Skyrim for a little bit here, but I'll probably jump back to Mario at a certain point, because after all, I still need to get my assets handed to me by TikTok clock. Right? Let's see here. 4 old style hinderers. What do you do with them since the tri-way's out? I mean, you could carry them, sell them. That's a thing. I think there's still going to be a market for them, and especially if they're running great, no problem. How important is the sound a knife makes to you? You got to admit, that's pretty important right there. Or perhaps, or maybe, oh yeah. Or perhaps after that, of course, one of the joys. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I digress. Spyderco/Bowie, by the way. This was the Knife Nuts Podcast Void. The Monterey Bay VLD. VLD, that is. Let's see here. Can I see your org knives? What's an org knife? I don't know what an org knife is. Is that like org mode? Are we in Emacs here? Are you trying to start an editor holy war? Because Vim, although actually I used Emacs for a long time. What's with the fireworks all over towns? I have no idea, Tommy. It's completely weird. But yeah, there's so much strange stuff going on. Anyways, oh, can you see my OTF knives? Okay, I think org mode would be reasonable. I like the idea of org mode, but my brain is so ingrained in Markdown text formatting language that I could never make the switch. And besides, I'm now more in Vim. Anyways, there you go. Let's see. I don't actually have any out the front knives at the moment. The only automatic no, that's not true. I have 2 automatics. This guy, the Protec Sprint here, as well as, come here, magic. Oh, it's magic. You know. Okay, anyways, hey, Slicey, good to see you. Oh, God, he's my Robin. Oh, that's a thing. Not Vim, always Nano, found the masochist. All right, what's my favorite scale material and why? By weight, it looks like titanium. But I like wood. Wood's good. My card is solid. I'm open. I'm open to a lot of things, right? There you go. You asked an acoustics person how important sound is. Oh, yeah. It's a thing. One of these days, I'll take my knives into a sound booth at work and try and get some real good measurements. Anyways, I digress. What's my thoughts on sprint runs that sell out in seconds? Yeah, screw that. This is a part of the reason I'm done with sprint runs, right? I'll go ahead and put this. Oh, what do we swap out? I'll swap out the Shaman. Put this little sprint right up there. We'll take it from there. Let's see here. Importance of opening sound is directly related to how much I paid for it. That's true. Although, what's the nicest sounding inexpensive knife out there? I gotta say, the Gerber Fastball, absolutely not bad. I like that. In fact, let's not get into the whole political world in all of this right now. But yeah, I mean, some people might be setting off fireworks in celebration for Juneteenth, but it may be other things as well. So let's not go there. But anyways, what are we looking at here? Since I'm an acoustic scientist, can I confirm that the sax is scientifically the coolest sound in existence? I don't know that I agree with that, actually. I'm going to go with the bloop. Go ahead and Wikipedia bloop. It's a famous unexplained sound. It's kind of cool. Sorry, getting tea. Again, trying to make sure the voice box doesn't come flying out. You feel like you should know the bottom carbon knife, but you don't. This would be the Monterey Bay Knives VLD. Very low drag. Very nice sound. Let's see here. I should make a Nick Shabazz rap song? Clearly, you've never watched Jackass's Delight. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Clarence 1 asks, what kind of character do I play in Skyrim? I am a cat. What is it? Kajit? Kajira? Kaji? Something or another. Either way, I'm the cat boy, basically, and I'm going mage. I'm going squishy mage. Because, let's face it, wizardry is kind of a thing. I put all my points into intelligence anyways, which, by the way, is kind of sad given that I'm not a brilliant man. Maybe a couple in charisma here and there. But, yeah, anyways, that's good. What's my favorite color of noise? Pink noise has got some joy. White noise is pretty good, too. I don't know. I tend to be a big fan of just filtering noise to whatever frequency I need it to be at that moment. Can you please say Protect Malibu Dark Damascus? Protect Malibu Dark Damascus. I believe this to be a Vegas Forge Damascus. Very, very nice. Am I thinking of revisiting the KUF, the Liang Ma KUF version 2? I think they listened to me. Yeah, it's been on my mind. I've just had a lot of things come across there that I need to have across the table. So, yeah, that's a thing. What happened to Jackass? What has to happen to get Jackass Delight verse 2? So, I mean, the problem with that, Nathan, look, I'm open to that. I would be very happy to do a charitable sort of thing where I could do that. The question, though, is what I'm going to do, like what the backing track is going to be. I've been considering Still Dre as a nice choice because, of course, nowadays everybody does want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips, just a bunch of gibberish. Why is that? Because they forgot about Nick. But anyways, I'm not quite sure where to go with that. I lost the flow in the middle there. But nonetheless, I'm definitely considering it. It's a possibility. Let's see here. Can I recommend a lightweight knife for a first responder? Depends on what kind of lightweight you're looking for and what kind of first response you're doing. But generally speaking, my recommendations are going to be things like the Spyderco Para 3 lightweight. This is a really nice choice, and maybe the Native 5. The Spyderco Police isn't a bad choice. What else could be a good choice for you? There is always the Benchmade 940. Not the sliciest thing ever, but it's a solid and reliable piece. The TRM Atom, although again, for a first responder, if you're going to be, punching through a bunch of car doors or something like that, which I don't know what you'd be doing, or of course, if you want super lightweight, you could do like a Benchmade Bug Out with a set of carbon fiber scales on it. That'd be a solid choice too. Or even like Cold Steel, Ultimate Hunter, or something like that. There are a bunch of good choices out there. Metals Complex asks, excited for Elder Scrolls 6. We'll be in our 50s. Yeah, that's a possibility. Look, I'm just barely getting into Skyrim, but I am kind of loving it. So that's a beautiful thing. And by the way, thank you everybody who's super chatting and donating. You're absolutely gems. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see here. That's not Still Dre. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not Still Dre at all. You're right. Still is. Oh, that's forgot about Dre. I apologize. I am so very sorry about that. Anyways, back at the ranch. Discovered your channel last week. Learned so much from my videos. I'm sorry. I'm subscribed forever. I'm really sorry. Now, can you please help me decide between the Rat 2 and Civivi Praxis? They're very differently sized knives. You've got the Rat 2 over here, and you've got the Civivi Praxis over. I didn't take out my budget drawer yet. I'm tripping over things. Okay, good. I didn't take a header into a table full of knives. That would have been an awkward way to go, right? Anyways, this is the Civivi Praxis. This is the Rat 2. You probably are actually more interested in the Rat number 1, which is right over here, which is more Praxis size. Honestly, you can't go wrong. It depends on whether you want to flip or otherwise. Another thing to consider would be the Civivi Shredder. If you like that blade shape, in a lot of ways, it's similar to the Praxis in terms of overall size, but a slightly different approach. There are a lot of really good points. Let's see here. But good question. Oh, and by the way, the person who was just asking about native lightweight, right here. This is a Crew Air edition, but there are many other kinds of they're out there. Norton Stone's any good with the oil? I haven't actually used Norton stones in a while, but they're fine. They've been used forever. Let's see here. FHA is declaring his love. Thank you very much. Although my feelings for you are platonic in that sort of way that happens between a reviewer and his viewers, nonetheless, I do appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. Let's see here. What's the price on the Shop by Design on the right? Unfortunately, this was a limited edition Knife Nuts podcast version. Maybe they'll do another round of them down the road, and I think there's an auction right now going on for the last one, or is it a raffle? I forget. But either way, if you look at Knife Nuts podcast on Instagram, you'll see that there. But this guy was actually surprisingly inexpensive given the titanium. The Damascus and the titanium there. Let's see here. Having a heart attack with that blade over the Protec? Oh, no, he's fine. It's a little titanium guy right here. He's okay. No problem there, although there is a little bit of gunk up in there. Skunk, that's a little known substance. Let's see here. If there were ever a knife to get other people into collecting, what would it be? That's very, very easy. Actually, there are a couple of things. It's a good idea to think about knives that are not traditionally, generally high-speed, low-draggy sorts of things. So even companies like the James brand, like Quiet Carry, etc., are very good for getting people into knives who wouldn't necessarily be interested in knives otherwise. You got things like that. Also, of course, the Rat 2. You buy one, you give it to somebody. Next thing you know, they're a knife collector. Spyderco Dragonfly, Ladybug, that kind of thing. Ladybug. They're really good choices there. Let's see. He had her into a table of knives. He died as he lived, as a jackass. Nice. Let's see here. What's my go-to dance move? Macarena. Hey, Macarena. All right. That's literally the only dance move I know. Let's see here. There is, in fact, a new pre-order for the Shop by Design Evo Typhoon. Brand new set of models. You should check that out. It should go live tomorrow. Brian is, he's doing amazing work. I actually have on the table still to film. I'm so behind. This guy right here. This is the Micro Evo Typhoon, which is also an amazing little piece. Yeah, it's nice. All right, what do we got here? What's the knife that's sticking around the most in my collection? That's really tough. I've done a couple of videos about if I had to sell all my knives, what would stick around. This Protec would be hard to sell because it's sort of engraved to me. My viewer provided my viewer provided Monday is that's beautiful. I've got one other that I can't show on video yet for reasons that I'll get into once the review hits. But actually a Benchmade Barrage that's very special, and that's a thing. And Metal Complex, rest assured, this was a loaner, although I ended up paying them for it. So yeah, that's a thing. What are my go-to headphones for people who should not get into headphones? Sennheiser HD 595s are about as far as you need to go for most people. What's my inflection point for going from tool knife to jewelry knife? Probably you can get all the tool you possibly could use at $200, so I would probably go there. Super excited. First time you caught me live. Thanks, Justin. I'm super excited. What are my thoughts on the Spyderco Flash Batch Bombshell? Bombshell is a knife that's, it looks solid. It's interesting, but it's a flash batch, so it's not going to be on my channel because by the time I said anything about it, it'd be sold out already. I'm kind of tired of limited editions, so there you go. Let's see here. What is the best Shirogorov? For me, I would say the original Neon Light is probably the best thing they've made. Other people might disagree, but that's a very good thing. Dr. Dre signed Nick bars. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I guess I could perform in bars. That's fine. Or maybe you're from Minnesota and you're offering me some kind of a dessert that's cut into bars. Do I ever miss the Midwest related bars? It's bars there. Let's see here. One knife protects you while the rest try to kill me. Which one do I choose? I feel like this is going to be the one trying to kill me, if anything, is a knife to protect me against other knives. That's actually a really interesting question. I would probably go with the Spyderco Respect Bowie, which is not actually, it's in the other room at the moment, but it is a big knife. It's pretty beefy. It is CPM 154, which is a steel that's going to, I think, I'll be able to sharpen it back up even if other blades attack it. It's got a guard on there. I would probably go with the Bowie. That's a pretty good choice. Let's see here. Oh, he means I can rap well. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see here. Would I rather lose all knife locking mechanisms or every knife uses Teflon washers? Oh, probably Teflon, because locking knives are an important safety feature. Yeah, I take crappy actions, and some people have done Teflon well, Jason Guthrie, etc. But yeah. Chef Boyardee says, have you heard about Gonzo? Yeah, Gonzo is a company. They do a lot of stuff. A lot of his stuff isn't super original, so I don't feature them on the channel generally. They don't have a warranty network. They're hard to, but, they're a thing. And then Ozark Trail is Walmart's brand. I think I've got an Ozark Trail pan flipper around here somewhere, but it may be over in the other case. I have too many knives. Oh my God. But yeah, so yes, I've definitely heard of both of those. Let's see here. If I look at the Ontario Shikra, I've got one sitting over there. My first impressions are online. Best flipper knife under $1,000. Oh God, the sky's the limit there. I mean, Holt, Spectre, any of Brian the Doe's work. The Grimsmo Norseman. Look, you can get a bunch of flippers out there for under $1,000, right? I mean, seriously, Monterey Bay XLC or Easy C 2.0. There were so many good flippers. That's so hard to answer. It's like saying, what's the best food of all the foods? They're all good, right? What quality knife makers have outstanding customer service? That's a little tough to answer. Who's got outstanding quality customer service? By and large, who have I never heard complaints about? The Holts seem to go the extra mile for folks, but they're a small custom knife outfit. Who else has been? I mean, ProTech is generally pretty awesome to people. Hogue has been pretty good to people. Who else really goes above and beyond for people? I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. That's the problem, is anytime I answer this, I'm forgetting somebody. I'm looking at all the makers here. Olamic does pretty good work. Actually, they do very good work. They've got great customer service. I hear back from, this is the Olamic Whippersnapper, by the way. I hear, positive feedback a fair amount from them. So yeah, there you go. Let's see here. We got a bunch of stuff. MBK. Oh yeah, of course. Monterey Bay Knives has really good customer service. Koenig. Yep, of course. Yeah, let's see here. People are trying to figure out why the Norseman is at all appealing. That's a good question, and it's one that only you can answer for yourself. I like it, but I'm crazy. Let's see. Have I ever heard of Finch Knives? Indeed. Got a review of those coming out soon. If you could choose a new collaboration, but one had to be Hinderer, who would the other maker, company, or OEM be? Oh, wow, Metal Complex. That's a really good question. If I had to choose a collaboration between Rick Hinderer and another maker, who would it be? Actually, I'm done in one. John Graham. Rick Hinderer making the knives, John Graham designing them, would be astounding. I love John Graham's work, but unfortunately, a lot of his mid-tech stuff tends to be not all that super well done, or at the very least, it's not great for the price. So if we could have Hinderer making John Graham Razel-style knives, I would be over the moon. That would be amazing. And that would be a really, really good pairing. I think Hinderer and Graham would be excellent. Other good people to work with Hinderer would be... Who would I like to see Hinderer doing work with? That's tough. Who else would be great for Hinderer? I wouldn't mind seeing ProTech and Hinderer work together, actually. That'd be cool. An automatic XM18? I can see that. Let's see here. What do we got here? Nick, what would you carry if I worked in construction, had to use your blade for a lot of things? Definitely needs to be reliable. One of the things I would consider would be the Spyderco Shaman. It's a really nice knife. It's big enough for most tasks. It's got a pretty beefy blade. It's not a super weak blade. I would probably go Shaman, most of the damn time. It's a really nice choice. Spyderco PM2 is another great choice. There are a lot of good ones out there. Or maybe, I don't know. What else could be good for you? Thing is, I'm not a construction worker, so I don't necessarily understand the nature of the job. I respect it, but I don't understand the nature of everything, at least. I just build stuff around the house, right? I mean, I built a workbench. Oh, wow, it's bad. Don't even ask. It's bad. Like any woodworker would take two looks at that and go, oh, that's adorable. And yeah, that's about where I'm at with it. Let's see here. What do we got here? Modified question of what we all get asked. Well played at Metal Complex. Yeah, I like that. It was a great question. It really was. Buttlock Hinderer could kill you. Yeah, I could see that, Slicey. That would be excellent. What was the super chat I missed? Oh, if you could carry one kind of knife for the rest of my life and you have to pay for it, would I choose a gas station knife, $0 to $5? No. Something 75 to 100 like the Delica, although practically speaking these days I would go with, in that range, the Spyderco Chaparral Lightweight over the Delica, maybe the Para 3 Lightweight, or something like Benchmade Gold Class 1000 plus. I would probably not go with the Benchmade Gold Class just because they tend to be a little bit fancier, and frankly, I don't know, I'm not as big a fan. And I'm sure somewhere out there there's okay, if they did like a Gold Class mini bug out, I might start getting a little bit weak there. But, even the Gold Class Valets have been appealing to me. But I probably would end up with something in the middle range, right? I mean, if I ended up carrying one knife every day for the rest of my life, it would probably end up being this guy, the TRM Atom, or maybe the Neutron. Something along this line. This is a knife that is so substantially good that this is probably where I could stop, so to speak. Lots of other good choices out there. Let's see here. What's the most anticipated knife that didn't live up to expectations? That's tough to say, Fob Blades. I'm not really sure. I mean, because so much of that it's almost an unfair question. I'm not saying you shouldn't have asked it. But what's odd about it is that expectations are personal, right? There have been times where I've been super excited about something and I thought, wow, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for this thing to be there. And then I get it in hand and it's just not as interesting as I'd hoped it would be. And by the way, I'm not swapping these out meaningfully. I'm just saying, oh, well, okay, people have been staring at these for a while. Let's put in something else. But anyways, there are a bunch of things out there that have been, really anticipated, but turned out to fall a little bit flat. And it's hard to point to any one specific thing there. So, yeah. What would you care? I already did that one. Thank you. Thanks for my positivity. You know what, X-Ray Image, I'm doing my best. It's a world with a bunch of haters out there. It really is. And, there's a lot of ugly out there, and I'm doing my best to go high with it, so to speak. I'm just trying my best to be kind. Pax Prentice, holy crap, thank you so very much for the gigantic robot hippo. I don't understand the meaning of this, but by God, I appreciate the situation of it. That's super, super kind of you. Let's say here. What kind of brand of toothpaste do I use? I have no idea, actually. I have zero clue what brand of toothpaste I use. Hold on. This is not, by the way, a direct endorsement, but what do we got here? We appear to be using Colgate Total with sensitivity relief. Many people have accused me of being too sensitive. I'm doing my part, But anyways, sorry, that one's timely, isn't it? Ay. So yeah, that's my toothpaste preference right there. Toothbrush, I'm a Sonicare guy. I do acoustics. I have to do a Sonicare, right? I appreciate that you all were very interested in the answer to that, so I wanted to make sure that was covered there. What discontinued knife would I bring back? There's just one answer to this. Oh, yeah. 100%. 1,000%. Let's see here. Opinions on the Spidey Chef. Absolutely a stellar knife. 100%. Nick's a prop comic now. No, that's actually my toothpaste, but I'm just hilarious. No, not really. What's my favorite between the Whippersnapper and the Buska? For me, actually, it's going to be the Whip Snap. Weirdly enough, I like the ergonomics a little bit better. I like it's a little thinner behind the edge. The Buska's great, but for me, I think the Whip Snap ends up winning. So I think I'm going Whippersnapper these days. Buska's still a great knife, but the Whippersnapper is just a little bit better. Let's see here. Quiet Carry Waypoint is definitely a nice piece and is definitely a good competitor to Spidey Chef. Being a slightly thinner blade, Van X, it's good. It's real good. Have I handled the Sneck before? Just this guy. Actually, no, I did the Hoback Sneck collaboration too at one point. Let's see here. Do I prefer a back flipper or a thumb flipper? Thumb flipper. Oh, you probably mean a front flipper, like on this guy. I generally prefer a back flipper, but front flippers are cool too. They were a little less convenient. I can certainly give you that. I've got a good mix of both. They're all good. Thoughts on the Invicta Pro Divers? Honestly, Invicta. I've talked about Invicta a little bit before. They're okay. They're absolutely fine for being what they are. I just wish they were a little bit more original. And a lot of their original designs are a little bit weird to me. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. Craig Harding asks, am I wearing a Batman mask? Hopefully that just made the Batman ears go onto the camera there. Otherwise, I just made a really weird movement. So there you go. If I ever considered looking again at the Spyderco Akuchi since they did some improvements on it, I mean, I could, sure. But the thing is, it's still great, right? Do I like new flashlights or have I kind of finished with flashlights? I'm interested in them, but honestly, the thing that flashlight makers need to do more of are rotaries. Any new rotary flashlight, I will check out 1,000%. This is the best flashlight interface, period. I believe that firmly, and I hope very much to see more rotary lights in the future. As far as I'm concerned, you can do many, many things wrong in a flashlight, but if the interface is right, that's a good one. You did miss the Instagram roast the Nick jokes. Those were at the very start of the stream, but luckily this stream will be available later on for you to check out later. Let's see here. Nick, hair reveal. Was I bald? Oh, you probably saw my bald spot too. Whoops. Let's see here. Favorite knife brand at the moment and why? It's like asking me to pick children. In terms favorite knife brand. Oof. All of them have their own joys, right? Alamic, it does this amazing customization. They're a home team, and the people behind Alamic are really, really kind people. They're excellent folks. So Alamic is definitely up there. ProTech is doing great stuff. They're made in the U.S. right up the way. Like literally, I could get the ProTech in an hour and change. Drive in, and they do this incredible work throughout the range. And the ProTech's people. The people at ProTech are the nicest. ProTech Dave is the nicest damn human. Is he the nicest person in the knife industry? He might be. I don't know. Ben Peterson is another good candidate for that. Look, there are a bunch of nice people out there, but Dave is so damn nice, so he's great. I'm a big fan of Spyderco. As always, they produce a lot of really good designs. Monterey Bay Knives, actually, come here, MBK. Here we go. Monterey Bay Knives has been hitting it out of the park over and over and over and over again lately. With the EWC, the EZC, the XLC, they all have a lot of C's in them, but at the same time, they've been getting A's. So I'm a big, big fan of that. Monterey Bay has been really kicking assets lately, and so in terms of just like hit after hit after hit, they're good. They're real good. I don't know. Who else am I missing here? I mean... Pena knives for customs. TRM. Oh, duh. TRM is another big one. Big, big, big one. The Shikari rotary interface is overrated. Absolutely not. If you weren't one of my... you're a good friend, but otherwise you'd be banned on that one. Absolutely wrong. Yeah, Mary and Les Halpin are also good candidates for nicest people in the industry. They give me crap, but I deserve crap, so it's okay. They're excellent humans and also made in the States. The biggest issue with DRM, honestly, is they're hard to get. I know they're trying their best, but they're definitely hard to get out there. Let's see here. Yeah, Slicey's saying Dave is indeed the nicest person in the industry. Dan's gear addiction can confirm Dave is awesome. That's a big thing, right? It's stupid at some level, but it shouldn't matter whether a maker is nice or evil or anything like that, but it does. At the end of the day, it feels good to buy from somebody you support. And like I said in my video the other day, there are some people where no matter how good their gear is or how bad their gear is, you just don't want to give them any money if they're, doing and saying ugly things, right? If they're treating people poorly or if they're saying things that are just awful, you don't want to send them cash. So it matters to me when I'm dealing with a really genuinely nice human. And the thing is, ProTech isn't just like Dave and a bunch of jerks, right? No, Dave is awesome. Their social media guy is awesome. The whole damn team over there is great. Dave's mom is awesome. Like I would have absolutely no problem going to dinner with the ProTech people. And that's not like, hey guys, bring me to dinner. That's just like they are good humans that I wouldn't mind spending more time with. At Blade Show, I've hung around just like sitting down if I'm with a group of people, or if I'm just going to hang out with a group of people, I will go over there. Oh, also Touch Knives. Oh, God, Bill and Eric Touch. Absolutely beautifully nice people. Kindest damn folks ever. Big fan of them. What is his name? It's Fredrickson. I think Eric Fredrickson. Trash Panda Knives. Aaron Fredrickson? I'm forgetting his name. Another really nice guy. Had a big joy there. Matt H is asking me best action under $200. There were a couple of good options for that. I'm always going to point people towards the North Arm Skaha. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing piece. They're really hard to get still. That's partly on me. But this remains one of the very best knife actions under $200. And also, speaking of noise, yeah, that's good. That's real good. The ProTech Malibu has a great action. Who else? Best action. The Monterey Bay EWC. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a thing. Who else has amazing action under $300? Yeah, there's a lot of good action out there. The TRM Atom, if you like a washer action, it's good. So I would probably go with one of those there. Let's see here. How did I get wood scales for my TRM? How did I? I bought them from TRM. Actually, that was a long story, people. I don't want to bore you here. No, I think I got it. Maybe it was at G10. Maybe it was at one of the shows. I think it might have been. No. I bought these. I think I bought those online. Either way, it's a thing. Let's see here. Aaron Frederick, thank you. Yes, not Frederick. Said Aaron Frederick is the person I wanted to talk about. Trash Panda Knives. He's a person who makes his pieces. I met him and actually ended up talking with him for like a couple of hours. I think at G10 at the USN gathering last year. And he's just so damn. I don't know how to put it. Is it like humble? He's nice. And he has a lot of great knowledge and just he's a real person, right? And his knives tend to be they're not like super high end fit and finishy sorts of pieces, but his prices are very fair for it. I like him a lot. I think, he's a person who doesn't really fit the channel, so to speak, in terms of his work, because they tend to be, but he brings great knives just check him out. He's good. Let's see here. Have I been approached by knife stores to promote them? Yes and no. And look, I have no problem promoting good knife stores out there in the world. There are a bunch of great knife stores out there, and I don't want to leave anybody out. But there are a bunch of folks who are really, really excellent in the knife store world. Is it worth going into listing a few of them? Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll list some of them. Please, please, please don't read this as me, failing to endorse somebody. But there are some really good folks out there that you should consider checking out. Here in California, Nalpac Group actually has their own California, San Diego Knives, I think is the name of it. But they've got a good stuff going on there. Knife Joker is up further north in California. EDC Specialties is another one up closer to Sacramento, I believe. Monterey Bay Knives, Carmel Cutlery is Sanford, Monterey Bay Knives, who's another really damn nice person, by the way. Sanford's awesome. Ray Laconico is also another good argument for nicest person at EDC. But outside of California, you got people like Indiana Knives who are great, Hellacious Blades, Way of Knife. You've got big companies like Blade HQ, Knife Center, GP Knives, DLT, Knife Joy, a bunch of good. There are so many great knife dealers out there. Hellacious Blades, USA Made Blade is a unique store in that he, and I think EDC Specialties only does this too, only stocks American made products, which, is something I can respect, right? It's not necessarily the way I conduct my life. I have stuff on the table from China. I have stuff on the table from China, oh my God. And I have stuff that's made proudly in the USA, and I think all of it's great. So, there's some joy there. But yeah, a lot of folks do really good work. Let's see here. Do I watch baseball? Not generally speaking, no. look, I will go to baseball games with joy, absolutely. But I don't follow it that much, and I don't really have much of a team or anything like that. So I will gladly go to catch like now I'm in Padres territory. So once Rona calms down a little bit, and sporting events are a smart thing to go to. Frankly, groups of more than 3 people are a smart thing to go to. I might go to a Padres game with my with the wife, so to speak. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily gonna go I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it on TV or something like that. Let's see here. Hey Nick, how are you? I'm good, Kareem. Thank you very much for asking. It's a subtle question, but it's a thing. I'm recovering quite effectively, so that's good. Camaro or Trans Am? I like some of the Camaros out there. Happy about Liverpool winning the championship. I have literally no idea what you're talking about, but I assume it's maybe soccer, football. It's a thing, not American football. Let's see here. My favorite knife based on the ones I have placed on the table. No, bad Z Hunter. No. I don't know. Of the ones on the table here, it's really hard to say, oh no, I can't do this. Sentimentally, no, I can't make that decision. You're going to kill me. No, I'm not doing that. Let's see here. Does Damascus have a toothy edge because of the different metals? Absolutely not. It doesn't need to. I mean, it certainly can. But the thing is, once you sharpen it, generally speaking, okay, for instance, here's a Damascus blade. And what you can see here is that there is a beautiful mirror edge on it because at the end of the day, the toothy edge, or the change in metal here is mostly due to the, once you etch it. But once you sharpen it, the etching normalizes that. Damascus unetched doesn't look at all like Damascus, or at least it's very, very subtle, right? So there we go. Is the wife into knives as well? No, not so much. She works in an environment actually where it's not a good idea for her to carry knives, right? And so she doesn't really carry one anymore. But in the past, she's carried things like she actually carried a big old ZT 350 Ken Onion for a while there. Let's see here. Let's see. What do I think about the Benchmade 940? I've got one here. I mean, like I said, it's a solid everyday carry choice. I think there are a lot of better choices these days. It's less relevant maybe now than it has been before, but it remains a really good piece, right? Let's see here. Looking at the Combat Troodon, honestly, I don't really know their lineup very well, so sorry I can't help you there. Let's see here. Most reliable lock mechanism of all time, in my opinion. It's hard to say what you mean by reliable. I mean, at some level, every locking mechanism is going to have different routes to failure, right? I mean, frame locks... I would argue that for most people's daily life, any of the locks are going to work fine. You could probably make an argument that a back lock is a very simple design, and it's very strong. It is a very strong. So any kind of a back lock or a modified back lock, triad lock sort of approach, I can just hear already the triad lock people shouting in the chat. But yeah, so there you go. But yeah, it's tough to say that exactly. Have I ever learned any yo-yo tricks? I have not. Although, where is that? Right here. Oh, no. Hold on. Let's see if I got this in me still. You are talking to a child. Well, no, you're talking to a grown-ass man. But you were talking to somebody who, when he was a child, actually carried a yo-yo in a belt holster. This is a thing. So I got right here my Yomega Fireball Saber Wing at the moment. And come on. There we go. I hit the phone. Damn. All right, I tried. But you heard it. This was in like middle school and early parts of high school. No, why do you ask? I didn't have much luck with the ladies. Anyways, he actually pulled out a yo-yo. He sure did. Smallest knife I've ever carried, Spyderco Rhodey probably would be up there. Well, down there, I suppose. Let's see here. Best EDC yo-yo. I don't have a strong opinion. I haven't been strongly in the yo-yo market for a while now. Although it's probably not Yo-Yo Ma, because you run the risk of breaking up the Beatles. Oh, sorry, went there. All right. let's see. When's the next Terrible Knives live? Actually, my strategic Terrible Knives stash is a little low at the moment. I'm looking to replenish it at some point, but I just haven't been. I've had bad internet for a while, so I haven't been able to do that. Freaking Spectrum finally got this self together. Grand Seiko versus Rolex. Grand Seiko every day of the week. You just get more value. That's all. Picture me in 6th grade, Batman mask, flinging a yo-yo. You're not so far off, buddy. You're not so far off. You don't want a woman who isn't into a yo-yo belt holster. This is true. This is true. Would I rather carry a Boca Mermaid for a month or disassemble the Buck Select Fire again? I am going to go to battle with the Buck, 100%. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but it sounds like a, yeah. Okay, anyways, back at the ranch. Box cut plexiglass with the Para 3 lightweight. Yeah, actually, that's not so bad. Scoring plexiglass with a knife is not... Aussie versus Dio. Don't have a strong opinion there. Strap looks great on the Grand Seiko. What's the source? That's a good question, actually. So this strap is actually... it's two things. It's got multiple sources. So this watch came on a bracelet, actually, originally. I have the bracelet. It's a fine bracelet. But I kind of wore it on strap. And the clasp itself is actually from Christopher Ward. My buddy Chris got the clasp and realized... not a big fan. So this little clasp here is designed by Christopher Ward. That said, the strap element of it here is by my buddy K&H Leather. Actually, same guy who made my wallet. It matches, and actually my belt as well. And so K&H, I sent K&H the strap, and I sent him my wrist dimensions and said, hey, buddy, can you help me out? And he sure did. He made this just amazing watch strap for me. It's great. And so it's been an absolute joy. And so combining this clasp, which I really like, with the fold over, because the thing is here, what the heck? What did I do to myself? Huh. Either way, I seem to have injured myself. When would I have done that? Oh, probably when I was refinishing the table. I'm refinishing my kitchen table. Anyways, it's a thing. But yeah, so anyways, that's the approach. What do we got here? She could show you the knife got for your mom. Double-bladed Batman knife, amazing. Those are a thing. Have I regretted getting into watches at any point? Probably 3 or 4 times today. Oh, I'm thinking, did I just say Yo-Yo Ma? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yo-Yo Ma is he's an orchestral cellist. Who am I thinking of that broke up the Beatles? Am I that dumb? Yoko Ono. Oh my God, I am so amazingly dumb. Yo-Yo Ma is an amazing concert. Oh God. Yo-Yo Ma is not the same person as Yoko Ono. I would like to make this abundantly clear. Oh my God. Wow. People, why are you subscribed to this? Yes, he's a cellist. Why did I... It's been a day, okay? I'm just going to say that. F for respect in the chat. Yeah, this was not good. This was not my day. Oh, Yo-Yo Ma does deserve an apology. Yo-Yo Ma, to the best of my knowledge, has had no effect on the Beatles whatsoever. And in fact, remains an amazing cellist. Get some coffee in me. Yes, I need this tea so badly right now. Hold on, let me just chug. Yeah. God. Yo-Yo Ma, I should write this guy an apology. Anyways, Protec Malibu versus Mordax, answered that earlier there. Who is my favorite comedian who isn't Slicey Dicey? Slicey Dicey, of course, wins, but I would probably go with Mitch Hedberg, rest in peace, followed by George Carlin, rest in peace, and who the heck else would I go with? Gaffigan's pretty damn good. Who else do I really like as a comic? Oh, I am completely forgetting who she... I don't have this person's name. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, I've completely forgotten this woman's name. She's amazing, but yeah, it's a thing. John Mulaney's pretty good, too. Yeah, Mitch Hedberg died, unfortunately, a long time ago there. Which is a shame. Brian Regan's good. Richard Pryor's good. Yeah, absolutely. Bill Burr. I'm the best comic. Yes, that's true, Slicey. 100%. What's green and fuzzy and kills you if it falls out of a tree? A pool table. Nice. Yeah. Larry David's excellent too. I get a lot of and God knows I hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme play in my life on a not so irregular basis. So that's definitely good. And of course, Gilbert Gottfried. Regan is the most skilled comic working. Oh, interesting. I need to watch this guy more. Let's see here. Deadpool is the best Canadian comic. Eddie Murphy was good. Yeah, absolutely. Chris Rock was good in his day. I think he's probably still good. Dave Attell. Yeah, Insomniac was a weird show, but I enjoyed it. We are getting all into daytime or late night comics here, and that's definitely a thing. Let's see. What answer would bother Slicey the most? I'm trying to think of how to enrage Slicey Dicey here. What would be the best? And by the way, check out Slicey. If you're not subscribed to him, come on. He's an amazing knife reviewer and a joy. But what would bother Slicey most? My favorite stand-up comic is... I'd have to pick like Will Ferrell. I don't know if any of he's done stand-up or something like that. Yeah, David Tell seems like he'd be a nice guy. or me. Yeah, actually. I am my favorite stand-up. No, I'm just trying. Who would be the most basic person? Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure. Carrot Top. That's a good one. Or Gallagher. Gallagher could be there. Yeah, I would go there. Yeah. How do you hate Carlin? Anyways. Oh, I got many feelings on that. Can you recommend the Grand Seiko to this? Yeah, this right here. Grand Seiko GMT. Do it. Berbiglia, he's good too. Yeah. Gallagher nailed it. I know him. I loathe him. I have stories. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Gallagher seems like a pretty good choice. Oh, Gallagher. You mentioned prop comic earlier with some hatred. Anyways, I digress. How do I hate? Yeah, I don't know how you would hate George Carlin. He's too right, unfortunately. But God, can you imagine how pissed off George Carlin would be if he was still alive today? Can you only imagine the rage in that man if he were alive? Bob Saget as a comedian is absolutely not. Bob Saget is America's Funniest Home Videos host. Oh my God, I watched his first stand-up, or I watched a stand-up routine from him. By the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is different. Yeah, Carlin was a genius, 100%. Yeah, Robin Williams definitely too. Have you had hands on Spyderco way back yet? Check with me tomorrow. I am more, let's see here. Potato asks, are you more on the live sound side of things or studio side? I'm in the research side of things, Potato. I research. Oh, Eddie Izzard's great too, 100%. Oh, wow. Yes, Slicey, please do recount that. I would love that. And that's not the weirdest one. Yeah. Well, Gilbert Gottfried, of course, I have to appreciate. Oh, God, that can... The Aristocrats. I am not explaining that reference to anybody. I am not doing the Aristocrats tonight. That's not a thing. But yeah, Gilbert Gottfried is kind of amazing. Yeah, if nothing else, because everybody thinks I'm him, which I am not, for what it's worth. I'm not that talented. His post 9/11 thing, that was amazing. Anyways, best over-the-ear headphones for under $150. It's tough to say, honestly. Probably Sennheiser 595s. If you can get those, they're good. Norm MacDonald too, yeah. Anyways, what's the blue knife? I assume you're talking about this guy right here. This is the ProTech Malibu. But we digress into stand-up comedy. This is a ProTech Malibu. Best Canadian maker, probably the North Arm or Grimsmo, depending on who you're looking at. Sort of very different price brackets, but both of them are really excellent. Let's see here. Steve Buscemi. I don't know that he does stand up. Anyways, I digress. What are we doing here? Do I like Norm MacDonald at all? Yeah, he's a hilarious guy. Rex 45, absolutely solid. That Malibu is sick, but wish it had the standard blade. In a lot of ways, Slicey, I see what you're after. I think the Malibu, I mean, it's obviously great. Is that you? Are you a Malibu? Yeah, you're a Malibu. It's under another drawer worth of knives. Yeah, I think that the Damascus with, I think like picture this blade on this knife. In some ways, the Damascus is almost a little too busy, a little too dark. But yeah. Anyways, that's great. Did I watch the movie Knives Out? I haven't, and I feel bad about that. Like it's on brand, right? That would be amazing. Ron White. Please label the knives. Sure. Z Hunter. This is a Benchmade bug out, mini bug out with the carbon fiber scales from Rogue Blade Works. We Knives Banter, Quiet Carry Waypoint, Protec Malibu, Olamic Busker, and Whippersnapper. Protec Sprint. This is a Knife Nuts edition, Knife Nuts podcast edition. Sharp by Design Void. Chris Reeve Knives Mundy. Cricket Titanium Homefront. There you go. At what point decibel level does a human internal organ become liquefied? That's a really good question. The problem, Sidonian Knight, with giving an answer to that is two things. A, I don't really study liquefaction necessarily, and B, the bigger issue is actually distance. Decibel level is great, but the sound obeys its square law, right? As you go further away from the source, it gets quieter. And so a sound that is actually not all that loud applied directly to the organ might have a better chance of liquefying it than a sound that is very, very loud but very far away, right? So, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, and remember that sound is just, I'm sorry. Nope, not going into acoustics today, not going there. But yeah, 191 dB SPL is generally vacuum. Pull out the Doppler effect for this. I don't study liquefaction. No, I don't. I mean, seriously. No, absolutely not. That's not my world. I try to stay under about 120 dB in my life, okay? Grado are fine. They work. No argument there. Is headphones. How much is Spyderco salt? It really depends. There are a bunch of different options there. Can sounds make rogue waves like fluids do? I mean, you can get, are you talking about, I mean, you can get compressions that align together due to phase enhancement, things like that. I'm a linear mic sort of guy. Yeah, linear is good, right? There's a joy. Plans to review the new Rask? 100%, 1000%. Oh, Doppler Sebenza. Yeah, of course. Hold on. Gotta set that down. Of course, being in acoustics, I need this, although there is an error because this hole should be right up against the edge here. The fact that it is centered in that center circle bothers me not insignificantly. So, it's not quite enough to drill out the hole a little bit on that side to bring it closer, but it's definitely a thing. Do I play Magic the Gathering? I used to way back when, but I stopped around the time of Ice Age. So I've been way out of it back then, and I'm not nearly wealthy enough to play it these days. Again, remember that decibel values mean absolutely nothing if you're not also giving a distance, right? And 191 decibels at 1 meter, 180 decibels at 1 meter is fundamentally different from 180 decibels at 20. So somebody's asking me for ASMR. Here you go. Nick Shabazz ASMR. Here. There you go. All right, have fun. Ever heard of sonoluminescence? No, I haven't gotten there, but that sounds interesting. Sorry, I should make an ASMR knife video at some point in time. That would be entertaining. What's my favorite microphone? I love the SM58. That's a good question. SM10A is pretty good. I'm a big fan of Earthworks, actually, for a nice neutral measurement microphone. They're so damn flat. But then you've got like 3 hertz, and you're picking up 3 hertz, and that's just like you're getting a building fan, and that's a pain in my assets. So anyways, HD 58X, solid base. Yeah, absolutely. Custom IEMs? Nope, I haven't gone that route. But that's okay. What's my favorite color? Probably blue or a nice deep dark purple. What's a knife that's my favorite color? Like on a knife, this is pretty close to my favorite color right there. Let's see here. My internal voice is using an SM7V. SM58, look, where's my shoe? Come here. No, that's not it. Where is my SM58? Look, I've got an SM58 kicking around here someplace. It's a solid piece. Yeah, they're tough, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's It's like the Cold Steel Code 4 of the Cold Steel, no, even more so. It's the Cold Steel 4 Max of microphones. You're going to have a lot of trouble killing it there. That's Blurple or Violet. Okay, whatever. Am I into CB radio? Nope, sorry about that. Headphone amp to drive 595s. No, not generally. Lately I've been using a, oh, come on. Sorry, I hit the camera with my Batman mask. What the heck are you called? You are an Apogee Duet. As a sound capture box as well as a headphone amplifier. Absolutely amazing. Like an SM58 feels in the hand. Yeah, I can see that. Tell me about the experiences taking apart and rebuilding mechanical watches, please. I've never done that except for the one time I did the AWCI thing. Okay. Actually, I think we're kind of wrapping up here. We're down to 359 people, which is absolutely hilarious and amazing. But this has been a joy. It's been too damn long since I did a live video, and I'm really glad to get a chance to sit down and talk with you guys again. So I am very much a fan of all of you for stopping in, saying hello, for being kind. That's the biggest thing. Look, if I'm gonna get preachy for a second here, because God damn it, we need to do that right now. Be kind to people. You got a lot of thoughts. You got a lot of opinions. Everybody's got thoughts and opinions, right? I mean, that's the thing. We all have many and especially in a time like this in the world and in the U.S., we've got a lot of feelings, but be kind to people. There is literally no penalty to being kind to somebody. If you are ever in a situation where you're like, oh, I don't know, I feel it, just be kind to people. It's okay. You can keep it to yourself and be kind. That's all. All I have to say is go out and be kind to people. Help an old lady across the street. Help somebody out. This is a time more than ever where what we need is to be just amazingly kind to people. That is the kind of thing that heals. That is the kind of thing that bridges divides. That's the kind of thing that brings people together. And it is just so much better. So certainly, there is a time for aggression. There's a time for anger. There's a time for all of that. But right now, I think more than anything, be kind to people. If you want to do anything for the world, that's where you have to go right now. So anyways, there you go. So have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Bye now. Notification. And I'm back. But I didn't mean to be back. I meant to close the thing rather than to tap that LA Times notification. See, I had a really good ending there, and now I screwed it up. But that's okay. Be kind still, okay? Be kind to the LA Times app. Bye now. 10,000 lumens!